guys, welcome back to our channel, and we are in another mall in Malaysia.
That's
but
right.
Which mall? Can you guess? Of course not. There's so many malls in Malaysia, it's impossible for you to guess. So we'll spare you the suspense, and we are currently in Mid Valley, Johor.
Yes, Mid Valley South Key actually.
Yeah.
So this is one of the latest developments in Johor Bahru, for those of you who are very familiar. And as Singaporeans, many of us love to come over to Johor, right? It's like our Singaporeans playground. And the last time when we were in Johor, it was about
10 months ago?
Yeah, 10 months ago. And I can tell you there's so many new developments that's going on, right? We have the new RTS link that's finally agreed between the two governments to have the train line. And we are seeing a lot of new concept cafes, new concept restaurants, a lot of development. So things are bustling once again. Because last time I remember, post-pandemic, just in the 2022-2023, JB was like a dead town, you know, it was very quiet. Pre-pandemic, it was bustling. So now we are back to the levels of a lot of excitement. We see a lot of Singaporeans. And in today's video, we also want to talk about a lot of Singaporeans who are living and working remotely in JB, as well as Singaporeans who are retired in Johor.
So we are Fran and John, the Corporate Breakout Couple. If you're new to this channel, we actually cover a lot of topics in Malaysia. We cover the different states, the cost of living, early retirement, the prices of food, entertainment. We also do differentiations between the states and lots more.
Yeah, so today's video, especially for Singaporeans, you might want to watch on, because we're covering about developments in Johor, about transportation, about properties, about why a lot of Singaporeans are moving over to Johor, either to work remotely or to retire.
Please like this video, share this video with all your friends, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then let's go!
So there's an increasing trend of Singaporeans flocking over to JB, especially post-pandemic. Why is that? Why are Singaporeans all going over to Johor? Well, one of the key reasons is the cost of living is getting higher in Singapore. And if you're looking at the cost of food, looking at the cost of maybe private transport, whether you're a car owner or even taking Grab, for example, in Singapore, it gets more and more costly. So a lot of Singaporeans, especially now with remote working, are thinking out of the box and trying to flock over to JB, where they can either get a digital nomad visa, or they can come and work remotely and do their traveling in and out, right? So that they can actually get their work done for Singapore, earn in Sing dollars, but at the same time enjoy the currency superiority, right, of Sing to Ringgit, which is now around 1.33 to 3.4, 3.39, right? Previously it was higher, about 3.5. It has dropped a bit, but it's still nevertheless a very superior rate, especially when you come and spend in Johor. So with the cost of living that's entirely manageable, especially for Singaporeans, very affordable living, for transport, for rental, to accommodation, as well as food, yes. So a lot of Singaporeans started coming, especially post-pandemic.
The shopping malls in JB honestly feels like it's being catered to Singaporeans. Why? Because when you step into a shopping mall, take for example this one, the Mid Valley South Key, right? If someone were to knock me unconscious and then place me in this mall and I wake up, I honestly think that I'm in a mall in Singapore, because it's very similar to any of the malls in Singapore, with the brands, with all the shopping, the restaurants, and it has a very luxurious feel to it.
So a lot of JB businesses, right, they're actually very catered towards, you know, Singaporeans. The concept cafes, the malls, the concept restaurants, a lot of higher end restaurants, I would say, in terms of the food quality, you know, the produce they use. Like, you know, you have a Wagyu, or you can eat kind of, I think it's called Wagyu Tavern or something. Yeah, so stuff like that, right? A lot of Singaporeans are attracted to, because of the currency superiority. So we are looking at JB as quite different than a lot of other states in Malaysia. Of course, KL is very upmarket as well. It has its own target crowd, right? So Johor is really becoming a place where more and more Singaporeans are lured to, especially over the weekends. And you know, the ICA and the Malaysian immigration side, they are all working towards trying to get the car clearance faster. So it's getting easier and easier for Singaporeans to flock over to Johor. As we all know, right, Johor is huge. It's the third largest state in the Peninsular Malaysia, meaning West Malaysia. So it's so big, right? So how do you get around? How do you, if you're a Singaporean that's living in Johor, whether in Johor Bahru or other parts of Johor, how do you get around? Well, one of the choices, of course, is to own a car, right? If you own a Malaysian-made car, locally produced car, it can be as low as about 40,000 ringgit for you to drive well more than 10 years. Or alternatively, you can rent a car for about 50, 60 ringgit per day. You can also have the car for the day, and you know, petrol is very affordable in Malaysia as well. There's a lot of big open spaces, the highways are wide, and they're also well connected. So one of the options for you for transport and getting around is to own or rent a car.
Yeah, and of course, if you own a Malaysian car, a Malaysian registered car, you can pump RON 95 all you want.
$2.05 ringgit per litre.
Yep. If you don't want to own a car, right, you can actually get around with Grab really easily, and it's quite affordable as well. Say for example, you're a weekend tourist, you're staying in St. Giles, the one over here at South Quay. To get to the main town of JB, or even going to the airport, if you want to take an internal flight to KL, for example, it doesn't cost you as much as you would think, right? Because in Singapore, it starts with easily 12 to 15 Sing dollars for a ride to Orchard Road, depending on where you stay. And of course, if you stay in Yishun and you go all the way to Changi, wow, that easily will cost you 30 to 40 bucks, right? However, if you look at the prices in Grab in ringgit, it's really very affordable. Like for example, we took a Grab from the cafe to this mall, and it only cost us 9 ringgit.
That's right.
And we also took a Grab from Senai Airport all the way to City Square Mall, and it wasn't expensive. It was only 30 ringgit. You know what's the main difference between a Singaporean and Malaysian, which I found out when I first moved to Singapore so many years ago? The reluctance to travel far for food or taking an impromptu road trip. So, as a Malaysian, the moment you're in Malaysia and you have a car, the whole Malaysia is open road to you, right? You can go from Johor to Malacca to KL on road trips. You can even go down to Perak, Ipoh to Penang, or if you're in Penang, you can do the other way around. However, Singaporeans may not be so used to doing such road trips. So if you are lucky enough to stay in JB, well, perhaps road trips may be something that you can start doing as well as part of your, say, adventure time or hobby.
Yeah, it's really the Malaysian experience, especially for us. We have traveled to all the states within West Malaysia on the road, and I would say each state offers their own unique experiences. As a driver as well, you get to sometimes see, you get to see the sea, you get to see the oil palm plantations, you get to see the vast, the trees, paddy fields, yeah, right? And it's so enjoyable to just drive along these Malaysian highways, which are actually very well maintained. You have plenty of road stops or rest stops along the way that offers you a lot of food and rest and relax. Properties in Malaysia, not just in Johor Bahru, is a very interesting topic. Well, we all know that Fran is from Penang, right? And she owns a landed house in Penang Island. So she is a property owner in Malaysia. But one of the things, just to share a little, before we moved over to Penang to retire in 2022, we actually wanted to buy more properties, buy condos to Airbnb out in Penang. But we then realized during the whole pandemic period, and pre-pandemic as well, there's a lot of oversupply of properties in Malaysia in general, especially concentrated areas in Kuala Lumpur and Johor as well. Penang Island is not so bad, but I can tell you after the 3-4 years of pandemic, the properties even in Penang Island, where you thought land is scarce, right? The properties have not really appreciated as well. So in overall, what we are trying to share with you is if you are a Singaporean who intends to live or retire in Johor, we actually do not really recommend you to buy a property in Johor. Instead, maybe try the experience of renting first, because there is an oversupply of properties. As you all know, the famous Forest City, right, which is kind of like a ghost town now on the Iskandar side of Johor. So renting will definitely be a very good sweet spot for you, very cost effective, because rental yield is quite bad for landowners or landlords in Johor. So if the rental yield is poor, it means it's a renter's market. So come and try renting first before you make your decision to buy, because buying a property in Johor Johor, it takes for a foreigner is at least 1 million ringgit and up. And if you understand Johor, the entire Johor state is very big, but yet the population is only 1.1 million, which means what? The domestic market is not enough to support the property developments. It needs to be held by a lot of Singaporeans, but honestly, how many more Singaporeans can come in and inject, demand into the property market? So therefore, if you look at supply and demand, there is definitely more supply than demand. So if you are a property buyer of a Singaporean who wants to buy in Johor, then perhaps it's not the best move.
Yeah, to give you an idea how much of a ghost town this Forest City is, the Netflix show The Mole, they actually managed to film season 2, part of it, in Johor Bahru, or rather in Forest City, because it was such a ghost town that they had the entire area to themselves. So it was that abandoned.
That's a telltale sign, right?
Yep.
So what kind of rental costs are we looking at? You can get as low as 2,000 to 3,000 ringgit per month for a landed property, right, friend?
Yeah. Do you know how much my friend and his wife is paying at Leisure Farms? It's a 5-star resort. They're paying only 3,000 ringgit rental for a double-story house. Oh my goodness.
Yes, imagine that. And there's so many places that you can rent in Johor, right? You can be in maybe in Mount Austin, you can be Horizon Hills, Leisure Farms is another one. So there's a lot of developments that are landed that you can rent, especially for Singaporeans. It's such a privilege to stay in a landed property, right? So experience that space for yourself. You can either buy a Malaysian car, or some Singaporeans like to have a Singapore car and they drive it in. So it's up to you, but enjoy the space that Johor has to offer, because that's something that Singapore doesn't really have.
If you've been following us for some time now, you'll know that we always encourage you, our dear viewers, to expand your horizons, expand your point of view so that the world opens up. So for example, if you already find yourself that you're already in Johor and you've been living here for a while now, or your intent is to live here for a while now, why limit to the state of Johor, right? The moment you find yourself in Malaysia, the whole Malaysia is open to you. So why don't you, spend a few months or a few years in other states like Penang, KL, or even Ipoh? You never know which state is the one that will capture 100% of your hearts.
From my experience, each state has their own unique character, their own unique experience that has to offer. In fact, the cost of living differs as well. If you watch our videos, you know that Malacca, Johor, KL, Ipoh, Penang, they all differ in the cost of living. So come check out our videos, and at the same time, we really encourage you to try, different states. The rental is very affordable in every of the different states. So do experience it for yourself, because Malaysia is so big.
So for you guys Singaporeans who maybe are a little bit uncomfortable to step so far out your comfort zone, well, Johor, which is right at your backyard, might be the perfect place for you to kind of start and get your feet wet, dabble in a little bit. Maybe you can spend a little bit like your weekends in Johor, right? Like rent something over the weekend, and then slowly you expand to 4 days, 3 nights, and then you expand to a week, and then slowly you find yourself living longer and longer in Johor, and that's when the start of the whole new world will open up, and then you can be more adventurous to venture into the other states.
That's
Who
right.
knows?
We hope this video has given you some interesting updates to Johor and Malaysia as a whole. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Do hit the like button, subscribe to join our YouTube family, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye! Hey, do join us for our free masterclass webinars where you are up your financial literacy, break out the corporate rat race, and gun for your financial independence. Do register for it now.